Hey, this is Tarence Lauchié, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this podcast, The Growth Exchange. This podcast was designed to curate conversation, dialogue, and monologue around all things growth. I believe that everything living has the potential to grow into its fullest and most maximal potential. So let's grow. Hey, greetings and welcome back to another and the final episode of this season of the Growth Exchange podcast. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié. Glad that you're here, but I'm even more excited about these two guys sitting to my left and to my right, or to my right and to my left. I mean, I feel really special today because instead of them being behind the camera and on the soundboard, they're in the chair. So, and instead of them interviewing me, I get to interview them. Maybe we can switch it up next season, but welcome. I'd like to welcome Barnell Amos and also Joshua Harris. I have to give you that full name now that you're officially a dad.
Yes.
Yeah. And you've been a dad for a little while.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to talk about. That's growth right there.
That is growth.
Yeah. I'm wondering, or think for a moment, my favorite line, right? We did pick up some of the most common used phrases and terms throughout the entire podcast season. And it was unanimously decided that I use think for a moment when I talk. So I'm going to try to refrain from saying think for a moment. But Joshua Harris is the owner and the entrepreneurial mind behind 630 Vision, as well as some other things. We can get a chance to talk about that.
Yes. Yep.
And Barnell Amos has Speak Media Services. So welcome, fellas.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I'm
for
excited
having me as well.
Yeah, we got to really become unplugged because typically you all are trying to switch and looking at things and making sure it's all right.
Yeah, and you said that you're going to be interviewing us, but I don't think that you're going to get off the hook on us asking you questions.
That's cool. That's cool. As long as it's a conversation that's fair.
Mm-hmm. This is the Growth Exchange.
It is the Growth Exchange, and we're going to talk about it. I want to hear a little bit because there have been people who contacted me since we've been on the air. It's been quite a while. We had 20,
At least 20 plus.
20 plus episodes. Thank you. Appreciate you all. There's an applaud. That's where we can interject a little sound of the applaud, right? 20 plus episodes and not a whole lot of editing, but a lot of editing.
No,
Meaning,
things have been smooth.
Yeah.
There's been transparency, but not a lot of production. I know you're a person that does not really go for the productions. Things have been transparent.
Make
smooth.
it natural. Yeah, make it natural. What about on the sound side? I know you've done some magical things with my voice.
Yes, well, it's been all you for the most part, but I definitely hear like the growth, like me growing into sound, like figuring out things. Yeah. So
experimenting.
Yes.
You know that Alvin and Chipmunk voice when you're at home editing and then you clean it up before you release it.
Yes.
Well, really, let's talk about growth. I'll start with you, Barnell, to let you off the hook easy. How have you grown just in doing this? Because as a business owner and then as somebody who, this is your passion. I mean, you've got a passion for production as it relates to both sound and photography with your business, which you've sponsored some of the episodes. People have heard the ad during the break. But how have you grown since doing this particular podcast? Because you got other clients, but I'm sure none of them are as exciting as this.
Yeah. You know, this is like my best client, you know. But
speaks to the people in the back in here. No. This has been fun, though.
Yes, this has been like the funnest journey, a part of like Speak Media Services since we took Spring GR.
That's right.
So
that's right. I remember you did that.
So this like learning and just being around people that has the same energy and the same vision and everything's just colliding. You just like, yes, this is awesome. Like I feel like it feels like purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's key. I mean, think about it. If we're not going to do things on purpose, what's the point? You know, I modified my personal life mission about maximizing to say, you know, maximize your life and live on purpose. I was doing some editing to my personal credo. Everybody should have one of those if you don't. And I'm going to come back to you about what your personal credo is. But purpose was the key word. We'll bounce off of that right to you.
Yeah.
How has this been for you, and how have you found purpose in this?
This has been a fun journey. This is probably one of the most enjoyable experiences in regards to producing content, or really being able to produce and help tell stories. That's one of the big things that I'm really big on, and that I've learned that has always been a concept or something that I've always cherished. And so over the course of this year and a little bit of last year, just the growth journey of the inception of the idea of having a podcast, and then the logistics of, okay, how do we build the podcast? Okay, how do we market the podcast? This whole, like I said, the whole journey has been a stretching and opportunity to grow, not only personally for me, from listening to the various guests and everybody that has been watching and listening to the various stories from our guests, but then also just the journey of, from a professional aspect, stretching and growing in our capacities as service providers. Just the different challenges, and when I say challenges, those growth opportunities required us to dig deep, and figure it out.
Right.
But then also at the same time, just learn that there's more that we're able to do because of the grace that is on our lives.
Grace, another key word. I was just going to say, a lot of people thought, oh, well, that's part of Grace for the Nations. And it's not. We are part of Grace for the Nations. But the Growth Exchange podcast is something that is completely separate of that. If we were to house it, it would be housed with the Growth Center, which you've also heard ads about, the 501c3 nonprofit that the Growth Center is. But I want to push in the forefront of today's conversation the fact that you two have businesses of your own, and that the work that you do for, whether it's Grace, the Growth Center, the Growth Exchange podcast, Tarence Lauchié, and Associates, or any of those other projects, you do it from a certain passion. You do it from a place where you found purpose. That was the key word. And then there's a grace on your life to do it. What has been one of your most challenging moments of 2025 as we were doing this show and putting it together? I know all of our guests were good, and shout out to all of our guests. The guests were just phenomenal. But how have I gotten on your nerve? Just go ahead and say that.
Yeah, that's a setup. I don't know if that's a.
Well, we wanted to make this episode really fun and exciting.
Yeah.
But be careful. No,
I know,
because I got the mic. No.
So I think the important thing for me, I think for all of us as entrepreneurs, we all have experience in laying vision and rolling with the vision, but it's another aspect in regards to submitting up under someone else's vision.
Yeah.
And I think there's a value in that, and there's a strength behind that. And but where I say sometimes it's a challenge, because I know for me personally, I can start to add, like, okay, what if we did this? What if we did that?
Yeah. That creative stuff.
It starts going, and then sometimes it helps. But then sometimes, there's strategy behind the trajectory of where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
And so as the visionary of the Growth Exchange podcast, I thank you for entrusting us and including us in the vision, but also helping to move that needle forward.
Yeah.
But also knowing about you is that you're very strategic.
Yeah.
And so even if, like I said, the challenge is, even if I might have these ideas to go to do this, and that, you have the wisdom, the acumen, but also the strategy behind why we're doing things the way that we're going to do things now.
I agree somewhat. That I definitely know what it is that I would like to see, but I rely on you all's creativity. And I rely on the fact that you are the professionals at what you do. I know how to take a picture or two, but I don't know how to edit video. I don't know how to do that. Sound, I guess I could record on my phone, right? But it's not the same. What has been the greatest challenge for you in this process of growth with the Growth Exchange?
Greatest challenge? Just growing in sound. Like if you guys listen to our first episodes,
quite different, right?
You could tell the difference, even from the space. You could just hear the difference in a room. It seemed like it was a bigger room, and now the room is kind of the same size, but I don't know. It just seems like it's not as echoey.
Right.
So
it could be the layout of the room, but this was probably the spot we were supposed to be in.
Yes. So just figuring out things was the growth for us. I was like, well, that didn't work. Let's try something else.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to next year and what we can do to bring the very best content. And I just want to say publicly how much I appreciate both of you all. Yes, with that creativity, but also your willingness to submit to the ideas that I have or the suggestions that I bring to you all. You all figure out a way to make it happen often. Like even in recording this particular episode, you had to abandon your posts and come and sit on this side, which you all were, kind of pushing against because you wanted to be in that comfortable spot of being able to edit while we go. But I think it's going to turn out okay. I would love for our listening audience to chime in. For those who are watching via YouTube or those who may be catching a clip on maybe one of the social media platforms, make comments because we read them and we definitely will respond. We do have some folks out there that have invited or asked if they could be on the show, and we plan to get them scheduled. Let's talk a little bit about getting some guests.
So that's like you said, a opportunity within itself because we're growing this from scratch. The processes, the systems as to how do we accept guests? How do we market for guests? That's been an opportunity that has been something that I've enjoyed, and that's something that we're also looking to refine and build for season 2. But if you are someone that is interested and being a guest or know someone that you feel like they should be on the
guest.
podcast, I would say send us a DM. Send us a DM or contact us and say, hey, what about this person? And then we would love to walk down that journey with you.
Sure. And we'd have to check it out because we want to make sure that all of the content lines up with our overall mission. You were passionate about the mission when we discussed it originally, Barnell. Tell us, what you would look forward to seeing in a guest, for next year. What would you like to see?
Oh, that's a big question. What would I like to see in a guest?
I mean, because we're growing while we're doing this. We're producing this, but we're growing. I know I've grown from the guests that we've had this past year.
I guess I would like to see guests that are continuing to grow. Okay. And they're giving input about how to grow or how to get to a certain place. Okay. And just overall personality, a nice connection. Like chemistry. We've been friends for years, but we actually just met this person.
Sure. Well, that was good for you all to meet some of the folks that I've known all the way back 30, 40 years ago. And I could remember some episodes where you all were listening, you had on your headphones or whatever, and then you'd hear something and your head would pop up like, what? Elementary school, You did what? And so I want to be able to bring or curate guests that you all know as well, but guests that fit, the whole mission to support growth. I want to kind of take a turn here before we take our break. We'll be moving toward that in just a few minutes. Really quickly, what are you looking to grow in personally in 2026? Let's start with Barnell. What area specifically? It could be, part of production, but personally.
Personally, I'm just looking. Personally, I'm looking to develop more, as a person, just doing more research, getting better at video, photography, and podcasting, audio. I want to always learn. I want to always be that person that learns and just get the knowledge and be able to apply it. Yeah. So I have the best material that somebody have ever heard or seen.
So you're going for increase, right?
Yes.
I get it. You're doing a great job so far. Your other clients think so as well. I did check you out. I asked a couple of people, what do you think about Barnell? I mean, I've known you since 13, 14 years old?
Yeah.
All the way back. But I've seen you grow, both in your ambition, your goals, your life, and I commend you. What about you? Before we take the break, what are you looking to?
So there's a list that I can go off. I'm gonna try to condense it. One is just work on and developing as a father, as a new father.
That's right. You had to slip that in there.
Yeah, I had to.
Little Harley Harris.
Shout out to my wife Melody and then baby Harley. But develop as not only a father but also as a husband. Develop as a visionary, but also not just a visionary, an actual, I'll say, operator. Mm-hmm. So taking the vision, actually fulfilling that vision. I find myself in a lot of analysis and maybe getting into analysis paralysis, but actually doing something that Barnell told me. And after this past month of client work, I said, I don't want anything hanging over my head as far as client work, as far as just duties that I have to fulfill for my family or my other obligations. So I want to grow in fulfilling the promises that I give, or just being a good man of my word.
Hey, man, I like that. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'd like to pick up the conversation there and talk about 2026. But even reflecting on things like the F3 summit that we did, symposium we did, was opportunity for growth. I know it helped me to grow, but I learned something from you guys, which I'll share right after the break. We'll be back in just a moment with more of the Growth Exchange podcast. This episode is sponsored by Speak Media Services, where we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to capture and preserve their unique stories. You're not just another number in the crowd. Your individuality matters. Our intimate photography and videography services are tailored to your vision and budget, ensuring your essence shines through. Allow us to help preserve the moments that mean the most. With our support, you'll create cherished keepsakes to treasure for years to come. Speak Media Services, your story, your way. If you're a business or a nonprofit looking to tell your story through powerful video, you've got to check out 630 Visions. They specialize in creating high-quality cinematic content that not only looks amazing, but actually helps you grow your brand and connect with your audience. I've seen their work. It's purposeful, professional, and built around your vision. Visit 630visions.com, that's 630visions.com, to learn more and to see how they can help bring your story to life. Hey, and welcome back to the Growth Exchange Podcast. Dr. Tarence Lauchié here. We're kind of casual today. We all just happen to be dressed in black. You know, this is the thing, I guess, for those who produce and, you know, do quality work like these guys. But I'm privileged, like I said, to be surrounded by such great talent. God has blessed me to have some really good friends and proteges. And so at this part of the episode, I want to go into further exploration about the things that you've learned. We had great guests from the very beginning. First podcast guest was Cisco Duncan. That was the first one we had. And then we moved into some very interesting and enlightening conversations. Barnell, tell me about the guest that stood out to you the most and what you gained from that episode.
So I think John was the one.
John Bolden?
Yep, John Bolden. He was
Okay.
the one that stood out the most. His passion for what he do was just, I was just like, man, like I never wanted to do something so bad because somebody else like explained it. I was like, man, like his energy for like his work is like so passionate. And also he has said something about how quiet people don't really know that people are like looking at them until they actually say something you said, and you just like, wow, like
They were listening.
Yeah, like they were listening when I was just talking, like little old me.
Yeah.
Well, little old you, and I'm going to be a little bit personal. Little old you, I watched grow from being a middle schooler into a high schooler to, you know, going to finishing schools. I mean, you've got quite a bit in your repertoire of training, from your culinary work to your ability to deal with cable and internet and even now sound. But in your growing and in your growth, that quiet kind of wears off, because even in silence, you speak.
Yeah.
Even when you're just knowing that Barnell is present, we know that he's thinking through whatever the sound is, the atmosphere, the environment, and that's commendable. I mean, so John motivated you, huh?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
good. I hope he's watching or he checks this episode out and he comments. But John Bolden, author of a book, as well as now he's pastoring. I don't know if you knew that he and his wife are both co-pastoring.
Wow, I
And
didn't.
they both still work in their fields. He's developing youth development, still in community development. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing it. What about you? Episode or guest?
Oh my gosh,
or-
that's a hard one. I usually don't have a top. I usually give like a top three. I usually don't have like one singular.
Okay.
I do like John's. I think for that episode, just even that time frame, that the trajectory shifted for us. I think it was like a boost of energy that we needed. I really enjoyed Ashanti's. I really enjoyed
Ashanti Bryant.
Ashanti
That was
Bryant.
a good
The
one.
Ashanti Bryant.
Right.
Yeah, shout out. He's probably laughing really out
I
loud
really-
right
very
now, like,
boisterous.
ha, 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 ha. You know, one of those.
I enjoyed the energy, but also I think now that I am, and I gotta put it back, being a father now, I think that just those series of episodes during that time really touched to me in just the intentionality and importance of being present as a father.
Yeah.
But if I had to really, I think if I'm thinking about my full being of who I am, I think it might be the episode with you and Alicia.
Yeah.
From the aspect of all of the various things that she does as a creative, as an entrepreneur, as a
Mom,
parent,
wife, all
also,
that.
and being from Detroit, just like
Yeah.
all of those putting together. And I don't want to say the balance. I think her husband, Evan, had brought up a good point about, balance is not necessary or always what we're looking for, but it more so harmony. harmony between the various
Yeah,
aspects of our lives and how they complement each other in your whole being. So
Just kind of watching them and,
just
and working
watching them, and like I said, just that conversation. Like I said, y'all brought up a lot of different aspects of what makes Alicia and what makes you who you are, and I resonated most with that because I know that I have a lot of different components that I like to bring together. Yeah.
Now, I like that episode as well because we did talk about some of the sociology or psychology associated with handling personal things, lots of things. But being a creative, you can't seem to put a lid on that. That's something that it's going to burst out somewhere because she's got Gracewood Candles. Yep. She's also a licensed therapist. She's the co-director of a major nonprofit here in the city. Yep. Mom, wife, daughter, all of that. That was a good one. I enjoyed that one as well. I remember the one with LaShonda as well. And, from her book. That one was really inspirational because there were some exercises to help people kind of be free from worrying about what other people are thinking about you. I mean, it was just some good stuff. Some of the other episodes, Dr. Kelly was good.
Yes.
I just celebrate the work that she's accomplished. I remember when she got started with STEM Greenhouse. So it's just
it's
awesome.
Amazing. Even shout out to Dr. Kelly STEM Greenhouse. Shout out to all of our guests.
Yeah.
Did you say which one might be one of your favorites?
I don't know. All of them were good to me. Every last one of them. I think one of them that brought about most of the inner reflection was with Terrence King. Ooh. Because we go all the way back to Detroit and lived across the alley from each other and didn't know it until we became adults, until much later. That we grew up in the same neighborhood, had probably the same encounters at the corner store and all of that right in the east side of Detroit. But all of them were really good because I was able to draw some form of connection. Of course, my friend Ian Watts in his book, I've read the book twice.
Already?
Oh yeah, Clichés.
Is it out?
It is out. It's out electronically and you can get a paper copy. Okay. But it was good. And then of course, I mean, all of the episodes just really kind of set things ablaze. When we talked to Jeff Vandermolen, he kind of integrated our audience in a way. I think that one touched me a lot because we were able to talk through in code pretty much some of the transitions that was going on in his life and launching his successful consulting business, transitioning from academia into consulting. So these connections were dynamic, I guess, as I would say, is all things growth,
100%.
Yeah, so what else y'all got?
We've talked about 2026, you've laid some vision in regards to where you want the podcast to go, even from transitioning from where it is now to where it is. What can we expect? What can the listening audience expect from the Growth Exchange podcast with Dr. Tarence Lauchié in season 2?
Absolutely, we can expect more great interviews. But I'm particularly interested in challenging individuals to create plans, growth plans, personal growth plans, and specifically those in leadership roles. I mean, that's my professional background. That's the area of academic study that I've kind of pursued throughout undergrad, grad, and as well as doctoral work. And I just have this passion to see people and organizations and communities thrive through good leadership. And good leadership doesn't necessarily mean a person who meets all of our expectations. It means a person who is fully human, as well as fully gifted and identify with their gift, and they match up purpose. You said something that really sticks out, Barnell, that you find purpose in when you're doing what your passion is, and vice versa. Your purpose leads you to passion, your passion leads you to purpose. So we can expect more of that. I want to have guests that I don't know that well. I mean, I've had a lot of people that I know really well, but I want to get some people, in these seats that are brand new, and give them opportunity, expose them to the potential audiences that they could do business with or work with in the future. And one major project that I'm working on, and we talked a little bit about it, are the leadership labs. Want to do some online leadership labs. Some of the solo spots that you all helped convince me to do talks about some of the material from the published works that's coming out. So I'll be featuring those things in the leadership labs that'll be coming soon through the Growth Exchange. So,
okay. So I guess, Bernard, do you have another? Because I got one.
For 2026, I guess, I don't know, more group interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a decent setup because before it was just one-on-one. Now we got 2 other.
Yeah. Because I want to see some of those some of those guests that we had, like in their wives, like together.
Nice. Okay.
To
Like if we
see-
could have put John and Dee together.
Exactly.
Because
like
we interviewed them separately, and hers was really good as well.
Yes,
I mean, there's
yes.
so many dimensions to her existence. They make a dynamic couple. I don't know. We might get a short-circuited overload. We get both of them in the chair. But I get it. So some teams.
yes.
Okay. Terrific.
One thing that you bring up often, I know one thing that's really big with you is living a life of legacy. Part of that, because you recently got your doctorate. I'm curious because even for me, I was thinking about this as well. I'm 30. I don't have my master's yet. What was the story behind you progressing just through academia? Did you
At such a late age.
Well, and it's at such a late age, but I guess what motivated that that endeavor for you?
Yeah. I'm a lot like you, life learner, always wanting to know, like you, always wanting to grow. I'm never, ever settled with, okay, I got that, I know that. You mentioned that I got my doctorate degree. My doctorate degree got me. Because you all remember those times when it was like I was just completely stressed out because our brains are stretched and the human capacity is unlimited. God has gifted us with unlimited capacity to learn, to grow, to develop, to become better, but we have to have the right intentions and motives. And my intention and motives was to create a legacy where my children, their children, and their children, and if God allows me to see that generation as well, that it's doable, it's attainable, and that nothing stops us from becoming everything that God has called us to be. Growing up in poverty, growing up having experienced homelessness, growing up having experienced all sorts of codependencies with family and family members, God really blessed me to be able to get to this station in life. Notice it's a station, because we were constantly moving. And one thing stood out was the statement that came on the spur of the moment in one of the episodes about destiny, that life is about destiny and not destination. So that, that came up while I was talking. I can't even remember which episode, but I've been using it. I was like, that's pretty good. That boy good. That boy good. No, it was funny because in the dialogue, in the exchange, my ears perk up. And I hear things that people are saying, identify with them, and it's not a scripted interview. We've never had a scripted interview. It's always been organic and like this. So I want to do more of that. What inspired me to get the degree was to leave that legacy and to light a fire. One of my daughters, daughter-in-law, got her doctorate before, and then my son-in-law is a doctor, medical doctor. So they were doctors already. So we had a Dr. Lauchié and a Dr. Paul, and now we got two Dr. Lauchiés in the family, and hopefully there'll be many more. It's not just a status symbol; it's a level of achievement or accomplishment that simply says, we can reach those higher heights. Yeah. So. Yeah, it wasn't, like I said, for some fame or fortune. It was absolutely a personal life goal, and it is working for me. I'm still doing the same thing I was doing before the doctorate degree, just charging more per hour now. So, as a consultant.
Yeah. Okay. I think we got a few moments left.
Yeah, we do.
That's awesome.
Thinking about it. Barnell.
Go ahead.
Did we just kind of hijack the show a little bit?
So, are you ready for this?
So, well, I mean, like I said, with the few minutes that we have left, thinking about just this being the growth exchange, what would you say was your biggest or greatest growth opportunity?
I would say the biggest and greatest was actually talking to you. Like when we're setting up like everything.
Yeah.
Like me and Josh be having like these deep conversations like out of nowhere. And I'll be like, man, this is like really nice.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, what do you think about what's going on around the world?
Well, I mean, when you have good chemistry and good friendship, I think, and you showed this, especially with the episode with, I would just say, Mr. Terrence King. I don't know if he has Dr. Indy, but when you have that chemistry, it's just easy flowing. Where you get into these conversations and just the aspect of life, you guys. I mean, you ask questions, you ponder, as you say, and as the word says, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah. So I've seen that in you all. I've seen that growth. I think you helped to bring him out more, and you helped to kind of bring it. Level him. Both introverts. I
Yeah.
do know both introverts, but you're more of an outgoing introvert. You're more of an introvert, and so working together, I think, has been peaceful.
Yeah.
It's been peaceful. I mean, we tear the space up and rebuild it and all
Yeah.
of that, and good conversation goes on in between.
Exactly.
I've grown watching you all develop into this because I know that your businesses are going to continue to flourish as a result of just this exposure, as well as your boldness now to go after work. Somebody called me from the East Coast and says, "Who are the people that edit your show and put it together?" And I sent them your information. Hopefully, they'll contact you. But these are opportunities that I think expand on just the vision of growth, both personal as well as economic growth. You got a family to feed, right?
Yeah.
And shout out to Bridget in Missouri.
Yes.
Growing family, still more kids, or you done?
Nope, that was it.
That was it? Okay.
That was it. That
And
was
you're
it.
just getting started.
I am just getting started.
Yeah, well, that's really the thing about growing is that you can grow physically, you can grow emotionally, spiritually, in so many different ways. And I hope that moving forward, this broadcast or this podcast does just that for people. We'd love for the audience, like I said, kick your ideas back this way and let us know, even about guests that you would like to have us to bring back. If there are guests that we need to bring back. You guys got some top faves that you think we should bring back? Or some of those collabs. You're talking about getting two guests at the same time. Who could we collab,
I know. I was trying to think. I was like, I need to put something together now. Like, we should put these two together to see how everything works out.
Well, remember Ata Abande
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
and the work that he's doing. He's philosophical and deep, You could put him with somebody like a Terence King. That would be great. And then
We're gonna have to go into the lab. So in our, I guess, this leadership lab session, we should
that would be
figure
the great
out-
opportunity in those leadership labs.
Yeah.
To bring those people back. The labs would consist of, like a web-based masterclass conversation, and then some homework, and then coming back and sharing those things. Hopefully to spin off into perhaps maybe some coaching, consulting relationships, and then create more of a network. I think the networking of bringing people together who have like-mindedness is valuable, very, very valuable when it comes to growth. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can't think of anybody else to pair up?
See, I have to go. I gotta go do my homework.
I know.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't think right now.
Can't think about it?
I'm about to say there's so many guests that we had. I'm like, okay, who would fit well here?
Sure.
Concept.
Well, the strategy was to bring guests that met the expectation of teaching us about life in general.
Yeah.
But then also using your past to determine your future.
Yeah.
Financial goal setting, that was one of the pieces. Academic experience, book publishing. When we were around the time of the F3 symposium, we had quite a few guests back to back to talk about the impact of fatherlessness. Dr. Jason McGee was on. Now, just an update on that, he has done well. His book is good to go, and I think top of the year it'll be coming out. I don't want to spoil it, but he's doing multiple things as a chef. As a chef,
yep. I've seen some more speaking engagements as well.
Yeah.
So
he's integrated, his strengths with opportunity as a chef as well as a consultant, educational consultant. So it's been great. Tanya Powell May is cleaning up the real estate game out there. So
yeah. So I think we're almost there. I want to make sure that I answer the question because
Okay.
I don't want to. I think the question was biggest growth opportunity, and then I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Okay.
And then I'll have you wrap it up. I think
so
the
you're trying
biggest.
to host.
You did say at one point you would like for your guests to be able to.
Yes. Go for it.
But that's not. There's
Yes,
only
sir,
one.
Mr. Host. Let me turn it.
So I think the biggest growth opportunity for me has been leaving home after high school and coming to Grand Rapids.
Okay.
It forced me to grow because I had to fend for myself. But what came out of that was various different connection points. I got to meet you guys.
Right.
I got to come to the church that I'm currently at. The community that I have now has been the catalyst of growth. And so I would say me leaving home,
Taking that leap.
taking the leap. And that's for everybody. Just take the leap wherever you're at. Just take the leap. And that growth opportunity is going to push you so far forward.
That's some pretty serious stuff. I didn't know we wanted to go that deep. Did you know we were trying to go
No,
that
I
deep?
didn't. I was like,
Well, I gotta wrap it up with the deep statement, man.
Go ahead.
I think one of the greatest growth opportunities for me was overcoming challenges. I had some health challenges some years ago, more than 14 years ago, diagnosed with a terminal disease. God healed me miraculously, and I've been testifying since then. Just not some canned, boring testimony, but every chance I get, I interweave it into a conversation, and sometimes it startles people. But one of the greatest challenges was to become redefined. In being a new person, becoming the new individual after, a lot of physical challenges that went along with that ailment. And then later being given some more news or information about my own personal identity and heritage and parental background. All of those things were opportunities for growth. I know some things that we often say when in the preaching world, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, that kind of thing. Some things you just die to, and then God resurrects. So growth opportunities will be the resurrections that I've had over my life. God has always provided. Since I've been on the Lord's side, it's been good. But the challenges of just growing in and of itself, for some, could be overwhelming. And that's why we encourage people to tune into these episodes and to listen to our guests. The whole impetus behind this is to give information and to share resources and sometimes even data, that will help people to embrace those growth opportunities. So that's an excellent question and a great way to end the episode. Last 20 seconds. What are your closing thoughts?
Just keep growing. Just do it.
All right.
Don't ever hold back. Like, if you think of something, just go out and try to do it. If you might fail, but keep on doing it. You'll get better at it.
All right. You heard that from Barnell Amos, Speak Media Services. All right.
I have to echo that as far as just take the step. Just take the step, even if it's baby steps. Even if you have to crawl to move forward. Movement matters, especially as long as it's forward. So if you got to run. If you got to crawl. If you got to scoot, let me scoot.
I like that. If you got to scoot.
Yep.
Great. I appreciate both of you all. You have been listening to the final episode of season 1 of the Growth Exchange podcast with Dr. Tarence Lauchié, with dynamic guests as well as dynamic producers in sound and in video media. Just stay tuned for more that's going to be happening with the Growth Exchange podcast in 2026. We're looking forward to it, right?
Yes.
So on 3, let's grow. 1, 2, 3,
Let's grow.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Growth Exchange. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié. It's been a pleasure to have these conversations and dialogues with our guests. If you notice, one thing we all share in common, and that is the ability, the desire, and the potential to grow and maximize our fullest potential. So keep tuning in. Share this with somebody, like it, maybe even invite somebody. And if you'd like to be a guest, contact us with the information that's here and available for you. Let's grow.